Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I am going to show you what I have been doing with a digital that Kim Newberg has in her shop, or available to her. Well, no, let's just say in her shop. Excuse me, coffee shop. So we know, if you're a follower of Kim's, and you should be, you know that she loves jewelry. She had a whole series, a video series on making jewelry. She also did a series on making her own flowers. And so it shouldn't surprise anyone that she came up with a digital featuring these sorts of, well, let's maybe call them brooches, for lack of a better word. So I bought the kit and printed out umpteen pages. So these and I did it on this sort of, I don't know if you can tell, but kind of almost not marbly, but mottled cardstock, and kind of in a probably a linen-y color. But then, of course, once you print them out, you see that they are rather gigantic. And of course, that is fine if this was going to be incorporated in a journal topper or something like that. So then I printed probably the same pages, let's see, 2 to a page. So these aren't going to match because I'm sure I fussy cut, you know, one of each. So there's a lot of work to be done here. Now, one thing I didn't try, let's just see what the diameter is. Because, of course, with everything that Kim does, she, and one of the reasons her videos are so valuable is because she's always throwing out possibilities and ideas. So that one's 1 7/8. These are probably all roughly the same. 2. So I should have looked for or brought closer a punch, because they're fairly easy, or most designs are fairly easy to fussy cut. But sometimes a person may just want the quick and dirty method, which would be to just, you know, cut a circle. And I guess depending on what you've printed them on, you know, even if there was a little bit of margin showing, that would still be fine. Or if I had cut these a little bit better, and you may be able to detect that one little line there that didn't print well. So it seems to me, after I noticed that I went through the whole print head cleaning and blah 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 process on my printer. And this time, even after I cleaned the print heads, there was still an issue. So I went one step further. Can't remember what it's called though. Anyway, so just be aware of that. And mine is the Epson ET5850, and it's the big girl printer. 2 paper trays, paper, what do they call it? No, borderless printing. So I really love it, but you know, you do have to know your machine. Now, if I would have cut these, if I would have cut them instead of a chimpanzee, then they wouldn't look like parallelograms and whatever. But they could easily be journal cards on their own, is what I'm trying to sputter about here. So let's put these aside, and I'll show you some of the ones I fussy cut, and I will show you some of the ones that I have begun decorating. And I don't intend to preempt Kim with this idea at all. She did mention, this was a suggestion on how to use them. I ended up using, well, a few things. So basically, in her video, Okay, I have all these to decorate yet too. More to fussy cut. But you can see they look pretty darn cool even when they're fussy cut. Especially if you kind of pick, like I say, a good background color. So lots of work or lots of possibilities of using them as they are. However, one of the suggestions and the reason, that I proceeded to purchase the kit was the idea that it might be a way to use up some of those, that one just has the center. So what I found when I started decorating them is, sorry, Kim, maybe a little easier said than done. Because, and then I just sort of cut loose and let go, because the odds of having exactly the right color stone in the right color, oh, did this just fall off? You know what? I've got some loose stones here, and I see that I had I've got glue residue there, so this must have come off. I think I was just using Fabri-Tac. So we'll see. That needs some work. So basically, when I realized that I didn't quite, despite having this whole thing, I didn't quite have the right size and shape of stones, I began to take some creative license. So let me show you what I've done. So on this one, I had the center stone, which I used clear instead of blue, these flat little whatever they are, and then I used my Nuvo drops, and I have very few of these. I have 4 in total, because of course I didn't want this to be one of those product lines where I felt I had to buy every single color and then perhaps not use them. So I have black, white, sort of a blush color, and that's with my blush journal stuff, and this turquoise. And these are all, that's another thing I found when I went to the store. These are the vintage drops, and there are different subsets of products under the Nuvo line. And I also pulled out these absolutely ancient bottles of scribbles. Now I have more of this in other colors. Scribbles, 3-dimensional paint. This one is glittering gold. This one is iridescent gold. What does it say on here? Oh, so you can use it on fabric, and then it tells you how. And then other surfaces, paint design on most surfaces, including bisque, terracotta, canvas, felt, glass, leather, metal. This label is kind of getting ranched up. I can't make out what that is. Paper mache, plastic, and wood. Let dry 72 hours. So between these other products, I then did some more designs. So I used the turquoise Nuvo drops on that one. Then I had a bunch of these things spread out, and I thought, well, okay, as I'm handling these gems, if I find one that I think will work on a particular design, I just plunked it down. This one is just a little cluster of flat back pearls. This is just the center stone so far. This is a combination of these 5 square stones, and then a variety of sizes and shades of the flat back ones. Here, now I don't think it was a marquee shape underneath, but that's what I used there because it was a pink stone of some sort. This one so far is just the Nuvo drops in 2 colors. This one is, I guess, the most embellished of all. And so, there's that. This just has the one thing on it. We see these quite often, or this one with the flower shape. So I just have those done so far. And these, where is that little, yes. Here's the other stone that has fallen off. And then I guess I stopped and was going to glue these on. So the reason that I say that you have to improvise a bit is because, that's more like what I call a marquis, however, not this shape, but yet this is more like a teardrop. So, again, no one is going to know ultimately. So these would just be added on here to finish that off. And I don't know why this has not stuck. So I wanted to definitely show you this, because if you're looking for a relatively easy way to glam something up, like wouldn't these be great in a boho journal or a very feminine journal? This is certainly an option for you. As I was getting ready to turn on the camera, I also pulled in my container of sequins and so on. So I've, some of these are in little packets if that's how I got them. And then, of course, the balance are just loose. So dig in, baby, dig in. So I'm thinking that this would be another way, if you can find the right size, shape, color, this could be another way to embellish them, but also keep them relatively flat. Now those all happen to be shades of pink. So we'll just keep this on standby, see if that works for us at all. Now, of course, these oddball shapes, we don't want those. What have we got in here? Kind of more of the same. I probably picked a random selection just to have as a, in a traveling craft kit. This, I guess, that's a button. Actually, decorative buttons could also be the thing. Now, if it's, you wouldn't want the buttons with holes. However, if it was a shank button that you could easily remove the shank, then that, must have sprung a leak here. That could definitely work. Okay, there's some blue ones in here. Do I have an empty little... No, I have those in the bedroom. I was sorting beads and working with jewelry the other day. I don't know what these little papers are. You can see that this is going to turn into a mess. I have to say, I do have tweezers, but I wasn't using them. And, I don't know if that was a good thing or not. I just thought that, it's going to be another extra thing to try to handle. Maybe what I should do before I go any further down the sequin path is reattach these stones that have come loose or that were never glued down, like those two, and put them aside to dry. So I hope that you consider, if you think that you can use something like this, or that this would glam up some of your projects, I hope that you check her out, her shop out. See, even this looks pretty nice. I don't know how well you can see that. It's pretty low profile. But it's, you know, there's a bit of reflective quality to the... Now, I can't remember if I figured out, or maybe I didn't figure out, which is better, to put the glue on the spot and hope to drop this thing in the right place, or to put the glue on here and hope that you can... That went quite well. And I can't remember, I did this some time ago. I kept holding off doing a video because I thought, oh, Kim is going to do it. But she's been obviously doing what she needs to do or wants to do. So it's not that easy to let's turn that a bit, to apply even pressure to this, because of course the gems are different colors. Well, they're different colors, but they're also different heights. So obviously this is the highest one. The low ones would not get any, nothing would touch them. So I'm just going to set this aside and hope that that does the trick. I will attach these two teardrop ones. I can see, yeah, those came off too. So maybe I packed them up before. If you feel like 10 fingers is too many, whoops. Maybe I packed them up before they had totally grabbed. So I would suggest that if you're doing this, that you kind of, you know, clear the decks a bit and have some space to lay this out. Now, of course, this one I could apply pressure. Maybe should I just put it under my... my little sequin jar there. Now, in this thing, I have that by the strand. Well, okay, that's not going to help us on this. I have these gold sequins that are bigger. Now, is there anything here that could... So like I said, what I ended up doing is just improvising a bit. So now these are too big, but maybe these guys... Now this is confetti, which means it doesn't have a hole in it, which may be nicer. What else have I got here? Those have a green cast to them, so that's probably not what I want on any of these. So let's maybe, and here's some small silver ones. I don't know that I would have a spot for those right now, and I certainly don't want to start any more of them. So let's just see what I can... Oh, I think hubby is trying to break into the house. I should go close the door. He's hauling grain today. I'm just going to quickly close the door. I'm back. Now, I don't know... Like, why would anyone... Or these must be the little holes, like the donut holes, those tiny little specks. I don't know why anyone would include that in a bag. It's just... That's like using, you know, some of those Christmas decorations, and then you're finding glitter and whatever until March. So I'm thinking that these little flat guys may be perfect. Should I? Okay, let's have some tweezers just in case that would help. So this has, you know, quite a gold background here. Let's just pretend. You know, I don't know that tweezers, it's a little bit like using chopsticks. Haven't been able to master, whoops, haven't been able to master that yet either. Crazy little centers in there. So that could work there. Again, what in the world? If only I could pick up an egg roll. Well, an egg roll I probably could pick up. That's about the size, the extent of it. So you can see that that could work on those. So maybe if we have a bit of time, I'll go back to that. But let's see how these guys would work. And we dare not spill this. Okay, so I don't know if, and see, sometimes the design is not symmetrical, so I could put this and this here because there are those little bump outs there. But we don't have that elsewhere, but we do have them opposite. So, you know what? Maybe just so I don't have to keep waiting for that glue, maybe I'll try my Tombow. So this is Tombow Aqua Mono Liquid Glue. It's got this pen tip, which is fairly, you know, small. And at the other end, it's got this broad tip. So if you needed a big blob somewhere. And this, of course, will dry clear as well. And maybe it'll be a little easier to... Hey, that's pretty good. It's stuck to my finger. Now, you know, as you can see or imagine, this is a little bit fiddly. So be prepared for that. But I think we'll find that the results are worth the effort. Now, of course, if a person had these particular what do you call them? Glitter, no, not glitter. What the heck is it called? Confetti. Then, like in another size, wouldn't that be cute? Whoopsie. Can't let go. Oh, for heaven's sake. Come on. I don't know, is it static that's holding those darn things onto the... Now I have glue on both sides of this. Can I press and wipe at the same time? Now I start looking like Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah. She's kind of a wild gluing person, And then she's constantly wiping with a dry baby wipe. Wild, gluing woman. Now, what I could do to maybe tie that in is just encircle. I'm going to add, now I would just draw a ring of glue around. However, I don't know if it's going to work out to be, whoopsie, the right number. It's alive. If it's going to turn out to be the right number of these circles, maybe I'll try to do it symmetrically and then see. You know, so it looks somewhat balanced. Oh my goodness. I should have made a pile and then it would be easier to pick them up. I guess it's, you know, as fiddly as it is with tweezers, it probably is a bit. So if I did, let's maybe lay these out dry, and then I'll know what I'm doing here. I need a few more so that I can pick them up. Because when they're a single thickness high, so if I did 1, 2, oh, that might work. Now, okay, by doing this, doesn't exactly work out quite evenly, but I could. It does start to cover up those little purple stones, but that's okay because I probably don't have the right shape anyway. But I have to say now with this digital and these possibilities, I won't be afraid if I see things like this in a grab bag. I won't think to myself, oh, brother, more of those, which is sometimes the reaction that I have. Yeah, it's almost like static is the problem here. Come on. Oh, got glue on that one. All over that one. Maybe I should, whoops. Or do I have glue on my tweezers? Maybe that's the issue. Let me get this gross one off here. Let's just wipe the tip of this. Now, do I have enough glue left there to... Now, obviously, I'm not going to keep you here for a fortnight to watch me finish or make progress on these. Can you imagine if all the glues that we use didn't dry clear? There'd be a lineup at the bridge so we could jump off and end our misery. Again, I'm probably putting too much glue. But, oh, that really squeezed out. Yeah, I think you have to, whoops. You have to be in the right frame of mind to do this. And not have, whoa, where did that one go? And not have had more than 1 cup of coffee. We can't have any jittery hands here. Okay, that's pretty, I would say. Dare I apply a little pressure? At the risk of moving them. Now I would say this is not complete. I don't have any purple stones that would work here, but again, as I've shown you in places, by substituting another color, let's just, I mean, I'm not gluing it down, but I'll just show you. You know, no one would ever know that the thing underneath, what is going on here? Is there an invisible glue string or is it static? Or a person? I don't know what is. You know, here I'm sort of splitting the difference between, oh brother, splitting the difference between those two stones, and then you have a little bit of the purple showing, so that could be kind of cool also. I don't believe I have purple sequins, but so clearly using the Nuvo drops or the fabric, this stuff, Scribbler three-dimensional paint, is a bit quicker. Oh, see, these are iridescent. They kind of, maybe they will read purple. Whoa, I do have, oh, but those are big. Well, let's maybe try some of these bigger purple ones in place of that. Oh, different color. Whoops. So you can see that the possibility, well, based on, you know, what you have in inventory, the possibilities are pretty endless, especially if you begin mixing and matching. Yeah, I should probably glue those down now. I'd better decide which do I like better, if they're concave or convex. I think I like them that way better. So where's my Tombow? Let's do about 3 at a time. Oh my goodness. Oh, see, did you just see that? I mixed the confetti in with the sequins. Oh my goodness. I liked it with sort of the raised side up, but that, That is probably a bad choice because it's harder for the glue to make contact. We'll see. If they all fall off, then I know that I have to change my plan. So again, as I said, but I haven't tried, obviously, another possibility is buttons without holes. Oh, that are fairly, well, I mean, they would be flatter once you remove the shank, but come on. This is so crazy. While I was eating breakfast today, I started finally replying to comments on that have on the YouTube channel that, oh, what's that green guy doing there? That piled up while I was away for those few days. So I am getting to them. So hang in there. People seem to really like the video I did on the journal toppers using those wood pieces, as well as, mind you, I'm lucky in the sense that there are some people that love everything I do. So that is really kind of a pat on the back and a stroke for an ego. When I was going to college, I was taking the social service worker program. So, of course, it was to prepare for a career in social services. And so a lot of psychology courses and so on. Anyway, one of the things that I learned, and I don't know if it was part of the curriculum or if it was just something that was kind of going around at the time, the notion of warm fuzzies. So when we are dealing with other people, and this could be, of course, back in the day, that was in-person dealings because, these social media and all that didn't exist. So when we, but of course, the analogy applies today to social media, probably even more so than, okay, what's that stray guy doing there? I'm going to just apply a bit of pressure. So in every single dealing that we have, whether it's with our own loved ones, whether it's online, whether it's, I always use the example of a clerk or a cashier at the grocery store, we have the option of treating people with cold pricklies or warm fuzzies. So in other words, what comes out of our mouths has the ability to affect the people around us. So are you a purveyor of cold pricklies? Are you always critical, mean, rude, hurtful? Or are you finding something, some warm fuzzy that's genuine? Because, I never suggest that people be phony balonies. Whoopsie. Maybe this one doesn't have enough glue. Anyway, do you seek out ways to say something kind, generous, loving, as opposed to hurtful, critical, mean? So I guess that's me making the analogy between those of you who are always saying something nice in your comments, and even if people have suggestions, did you consider doing this or that or the other thing? it's always done in such a loving and kind way. That's kind of cool, I would say. And I could, maybe let's just take this a step further, although I have to keep an eye on my, okay, I'm just going to do this, and then I'm quitting. Which one? Maybe let's try this one. This is glittering gold. So I guess it's got glitter built into the, whatever, the paint. Or will it be foolish to try this? I was going to say I could try to... Oh, is this one? Maybe I didn't use this one. Do I have something fine enough? Oh. Probably the glitter tends to clog up the little nozzle. Oh, big blob, but that's okay. Whoa, bigger blob. I was going to say that I could fill in the gaps between the... Okay, that's opposite that. Fill in the gaps between those gold confetti pieces. But that might not be the best idea at the moment, because in case there's glue there, these little droplets may not want to adhere. So anyway, back to the warm fuzzies. Thank you so much for doing that. I remember when my daughter was still in school, I don't know, maybe grade 7 or so, I had read, I'm trying to figure out where next. Don't seem to, well, maybe I can squeeze 2 in there. I thought it was in one of the Chicken Soup for Soul books. It was a classroom setting. Anyway, this teacher, I guess, came up with the idea that people in class, I'm just randomly doing this. Maybe I should do around the edge as well. You can see, you can get totally carried away here. Anyway, anonymously, well, okay, say it was a class. Let me just back up a second. So, in a small school like ours, you know the teacher, you know all the kids in the classroom. I mean, even as parents, you know, ooh, that's a big one. You know all of this. So anyway, approach the teacher and I say, this is what I read in this book. Is it something you would consider doing with your class? And he went for it, so that was good. Because, I mean, it was a good thing. So basically, I don't know what period it would have been or what subject, but everyone, I guess, had pieces of paper, and they were asked to anonymously, like without signing it, write something nice about every other person in the class. And of course, in a small school, that's doable as well. I cannot fathom those schools where there are, hundreds of kids. But anyway, everybody knows everybody. I'm just going nuts here now with this. But it's kind of nice, even if the dots are not all the same size. Looks like I have to do this outer edge here. So at the end of that day, or at the end of that period, every single person had, say there were 20 kids in the class, had 19 warm fuzzies. So, and sometimes, and I've done that as an adult too, in some of those psychology classes, we and maybe this is even more true when you're young and you're still unsure of who you are, and I'm even talking at college age. Sometimes we don't know how we're coming across, or maybe we think we're fooling people. Oh, they don't know that I'm a whatever they don't know that I'm a part-time country bumpkin. So, let's face it, there is a certain amount of phoniness that goes on, especially when people are still young and haven't figured out that, maybe honesty and congruency is the best way to live your life. Anyway, so you think that you're being perceived a certain way, and then you read these comments, and I still have them, how many decades later. You see, you have firsthand proof of how people in fact are seeing you. And maybe they're seeing something in you that you didn't even know existed. And that is such a precious gift that, you can't put a value on that. So maybe the suggestion, because I always think, okay, how do you turn a good idea into action? Maybe the suggestion would be, let's pull this one back in. The suggestion would be that if you have access to your kid, and maybe it doesn't have to be junior high, maybe in this day and age we need to start earlier. If you have access or influence with your kids' teachers, maybe it's something to suggest that they do with their class. And it would be a gift, definitely, to your own children, because I guarantee that no one throws those papers away. And the fact that it is anonymous, whoopsie. I'm going to do this one with the flat side down, see if it holds better. The fact that it's anonymous is probably makes it even more sincere, because then there are no connotations or, sometimes voicing your opinion about something, whether it's that first time you say I love you to someone or whatever, you're making yourself vulnerable by doing that. But if you have anonymity, let's hope I have enough blue ones here. If you have the protection of the anonymity that would allow a person hopefully to speak honestly and from the heart. And I also think it's a good exercise for the people doing the writing, which in the case of a classroom is everyone, in that it forces people to look beyond preconceived ideas and look for something good. Because sometimes in a very judgmental society, it's easy to spot and voice the criticism first. And that's what keeps the gossip mills going, right? Wrong color, wrong everything. So yes, I guarantee that if you get those wonderful words, do I have glue on that one? Yes, I do. Whoops. If you have those wonderful words, you will keep that till your dying day. Whoopsie, lay down. Need a couple more. So, yeah, do it. Now that makes me want to go and find my little pieces of paper. Now, I, of course, when I was exposed to the idea of warm fuzzies versus cold pricklies is decades ago, when my daughter was in grade 7 or whatever grade that was. That was a long time ago. I certainly would hope that even in 2024, 2025, that, oh, I just stuck my finger in that. Damn it. That even in this day and age of anonymity, hate, trolling, what other bad things are there out there? I would hope that people still could find it in their hearts to say something kind, because I think the anonymity of social media has allowed people to not digress, what's the word? Go backwards, regress to a more hateful kind of behavior, because there's the protection of anonymity. We got your IP address though. How would these gold ones look here? Anyway, I'm not going to keep you any further. Enough is enough. Let's see what happened under here. So that hopefully is holding on. This one I should throw away because it was covered with glue on both sides. Okay. So, I mean, oh. Do I need to repair something here? I can't see where I smudged. Oh, yes, I can. Let's redo this. I forgot that this one was still wet. Oh, big. Too big. Again, nobody is going to be examining these as closely as I am right now, because it's the overall impact that we would be seeing. Now on this one, I kind of just glossed over this one. I just had added the black. This would be nice right there. But that's the only one like that. But maybe I could put another one. Come on. Again, you can just fake, if the little shape or color isn't where you want it to be, just fake it. So I'm going to stop there, but I think you can see that the possibilities are endless. And I suppose if a person had enough dimensional paint or Nuvo drops, or what are those other things called? I can't remember. It's a similar product. I don't know if it's a competing brand or what, but there's no reason why I couldn't fill in the entire space with product. Anyway, I hope that you see the possibilities and choose to do something about that. Oh, here's a purple stone. I could put that there. Oh, I do have a few purple stones. Anyway, enough said about this. So I'll just end by thanking Kim for creating this digital. I think it has a lot of possibilities. And, you know, another thing that could work, I just thought of it, is acrylic paint, because with acrylic paint you have the ability to get good saturated colors and build up sort of some depth to it. You know, it wouldn't work with watercolor, but it certainly would with acrylics. So thanks so much for joining me. I do hope that in your interaction with people, you choose to share warm fuzzies as opposed to cold pricklies, whether that's in live face-to-face contact or online. And I would ask, if you haven't already done so, that you please consider subscribing to my channel. That is too strange. That you consider subscribing, because of course that would be the ultimate warm fuzzy for moi, and it would get us closer to the journal giveaway. How do you get into this? Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Oh, we don't want a tree. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.